Well, it is official. Jayson Tatum has torn his Achilles, and now the Celtics are in just such a tough situation. Feel terrible for Tatum, feel terrible for the Celtics organization. The 27-year-old superstar underwent successful surgery this morning, and his season obviously is over. The rest of this year, as the Celtics now find themselves in this 3-1 deficit, and his season is most likely in jeopardy next year as well. Kevin Durant, if you remember, is one of the more famous superstars that tore his Achilles. He was 30 years old when he did so in the finals, and he did not return to a basketball court for 552 days. Tatum's only 27 years old, but is potentially staring down the barrel of missing the entirety of next year. Just a tragic situation for Boston here overall, and now they have to try and overcome this 3-1 deficit against the New York Knicks. Just a really terrible situation here overall because this team should not be in a 3-1 hole. They had two 20-point leads at home in games one and games two, and they would ultimately choke those away in the second half, go down 0-2, could not defend home court. Then they go on the road, bounce back, have a big game three, and in game four, I watched Jayson Tatum play one of his best games of his entire career, maybe the best two-way game of his entire career. He had 42 points, was unbelievable from beyond the arc, was hitting every big-time shot when the Celtics needed him. And on the defensive side of the ball, he was just a defensive mastermind. He had 4 steals, 2 blocks. He was making all the big plays when you needed him. And it really felt like that was reminiscent of Jayson Tatum in game 6 at Milwaukee in 2022 when he dropped 46 points, helped the Celtics not get eliminated and force that game 7. And that's what it felt like yesterday for Tatum and the type of game that he was having. But if the Celtics want to get back into this series, which they're more than capable of doing so, in my opinion, with the talent they have on this roster, Jaylen Brown has to be a lot better. I don't know if he's 100% healthy right now because he has not been great this series. His efficiency is in the tank right now. He just doesn't look like the same player. But if the Celtics are going to win this series and overcome this 3-1 deficit, Jaylen Brown has to be unbelievable. Derek White has to continue this hot streak that he's been on. They're going to need contributions from Kristaps Porzingis, Peyton Pritchard, from these types of guys if they want to have any sort of a chance. But the thing for me is, how do they get over this mental hurdle that they just witnessed with Jayson Tatum, their brother, tearing his Achilles? How do they get over that mental hurdle in game 5 at home? That's going to be the most difficult game. If they can get over this game 5 hump, I believe they have a chance. It was very similar and kind of reminiscent when they went down 0-3 against Miami in 2023 when they were the 2 seed. Miami was the 8 seed. And I'm like, okay, I know this Celtics team is better than the Heat. And I know this Celtics team is better than New York. Now, I don't know if they're better than them without Jayson Tatum, but I know they have the talent to keep this really close, and they have the talent to win ball games. They swept them in the regular season, and they've had huge leads in every single one of these games. 2 20-point leads in games 1 and 2, a 14-point lead in game 4. Like, realistically, they should not be in a 3-1 hole right now. And this is really the same kind of feeling that I had in this Miami series when they were down 0-3. I'm like, okay, can they get over this mental hurdle in game 4, the toughest game on the road in Miami? If they can get over this mental hurdle and win one game, it's going to set them up for an opportunity to potentially go on a roll here. Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, don't let us get one. If you remember, they famously said that, forced game 7. That's when Tatum had that ankle injury and wasn't the same, and they would ultimately end up losing it. But for Boston, don't let them get one. Can they win game 5, give themselves a chance in game 6 and game 7? It seems like a lot for them to overcome, but they have a lot to kind of look at this offseason because Shams already reported it. This team has such an expensive roster, the most expensive in basketball history. They're going to have to make a move. The new CBA is going to start penalizing them, whether it's draft picks, etc. They're going to have to make some big changes regardless of the outcome of this season. And it feels like this whole Tatum Achilles injury and them now being down 3-1 is expediting this process, which is so wild to think because 10 days ago, you're like, this team can go win a championship. And now it's like, what does the future look like of Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown? Are Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday going to be on the team next year? And those are serious questions you're going to have to start asking yourself. And eventually, the Celtics are going to need to start answering because you're going to have some big time players out there on the market that the Celtics can go get if they feel like they need to retool, if they need to ship out. Jaylen Brown, I've seen a pretty popular trade kind of being thrown around, which is Kristaps Porzingis and Jaylen Brown being traded for Giannis Antetokounmpo. What does it look like in terms of Jayson Tatum's recovery path? Can they get back to the postseason, give themselves a chance for Tatum to return back in the postseason? What does that look like? You obviously don't want to rush him back. Does Al Horford decide to come back and play another season? We know he's nearing retirement and he's going to be a free agent this season. Just so many different question marks that the Celtics are now going to have to answer and stare down the barrel of this upcoming off season. Just a crazy turn of events. Such a tragic injury here for Jayson Tatum, an Achilles injury in the prime of his career at only 27 years old. You just really question what he's going to come back and play like, because an injury like this, it's really hard to overcome and it's really hard to be the same player. And luckily, Jayson Tatum knows Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant had a identical injury to this when he tore his Achilles in the finals. He was 30 years old. Tatum's now going to have to overcome this same thing. But if there's one thing that I know about Jayson Tatum from my time watching him, I know that he is going to do everything that he can to get back. He is such a hard worker. He's going to do everything that he can to get back on that basketball court and still be the same player. And I think that's the one benefit that the Celtics are going to have. The Celtics fan base is going to have. Jayson Tatum is going to work his ever-living butt off to try and get back on that basketball court and be a better basketball player than he was this year, than he was last year, than he was when he lost in the finals. Jayson Tatum is going to do everything that he can to be a better basketball player, and I still think that he can win a Finals MVP one day. He's still going to be a great basketball player. But for the Celtics, really, really terrible situation that they're in right now, down 3-1. Can they at least give themselves a chance tomorrow night, win one basketball game for JT? We will see. Prayers up to Tatum, and we'll see if the Celtics team can get back on track here. My name is Caden Kubler. Thank you guys so much for watching. See ya.